County's future. I have a lot of faith here in you and the growing town of Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha, so much for speaking again to the group. So our first speaker is going to be Judge Bill Gravel, followed by our Precinct 4 Commissioner Russ Bowles, and then by Taylor City Mayor Brent Rydell, and then by Taylor ISD Superintendent Dr. Patteville.
First, I'd like to start by thanking you for coming to this meeting tonight at this press conference, because today is an exciting day for Williamson County, Texas. Today, Williamson County, Texas has let the world know that we're open for business. Today, we're talking about the largest economic development project in the history of Texas and the largest economic development project in the history of the United States with foreign investment. I'm originally from Williamson County. I grew up on East Main Street in Round Rock, and I graduated from Round Rock High School. I have seen this county grow into a place where possibilities can prosper. We let the region know here in Williamson County that we were open for business back in the 1990s when Dell moved its corporate headquarters to Round Rock. And then we had 2 decades of steady growth with some great calculated planning by a Williamson County Commissioner Courts. And as we've added more people, we've invested more into roads and more into infrastructure. And as more people have continued to come, more businesses, including several hospitals in Williamson County, like our new Dell Children's Hospital that's under construction on Avery Ranch Boulevard. We let the nation know that we were open for business back in December of 2018 when Apple announced its new building, its new campus, right here in Williamson County, Texas. Apple was a company that fit with Williamson County, and they wanted a place of incredible quality of life and a great place to raise their family, and Williamson County was that for that corporation. And we're still growing and we're still planning here in Williamson County. Williamson County is currently the 3rd fastest growing county in the state of Texas. And for that reason, because we have cultivated an environment that is open to possibilities, Williamson County continues to grow and prosper. But the road has not always been smooth or without bumps. We have had companies look at Williamson County and they have made their homes elsewhere. But even in those moments, we discovered possibilities. We learned what we needed to do and what type of companies we wanted to attract. And Samsung is that type of company. Samsung is committed to engaging in the community, and they're dedicated to enhancing education, and they're devoted to families. To the world, I say to you tonight, Williamson County is open for business. And to our friends at Samsung, we say, welcome home to Williamson County, Texas, where everyone can prosper and possibilities become real.
So I'm County Commissioner Russ Bowles, and this is my precinct. Taylor is my town, and I can tell you this is a special moment for me. So when I ran for office, I went door to door, and I knocked a lot of doors, and I knocked a lot of doors in Taylor. I knocked a lot of doors on the east side of Williamson County. And I heard one common theme, is the east side said, we're not sure the county knows we're still here. And from the day I was elected, set about doing the small things, filling the potholes, working with the smaller cities, and then to get the opportunity to be part of working with Samsung to come to Taylor is absolutely fabulous. I cannot say enough about the leadership of Judge Gravel, and I cannot say enough about the leadership of Mayor Rydell. I can tell you there's a good chance we may not talk to each other for the next 3 months because we've spent that much time going over and re-going over the details. We have spent a lot of time together on the phone. The mayor has shown amazing leadership, and I want to give absolutely credit to his city council and the staff as well. I got to see all the work get done, and it has been we look forward to hearing from Samsung. They have been responsive. They have been amazing. They have the possibilities that they bring to this community is just spectacular. And so I look forward to hearing back and to see what's next for Taylor.
Good evening. My name is Brent Rydell, and it's my honor and privilege to serve as mayor of the city of Taylor. I think the operative word this evening is opportunity. We heard that a lot earlier this evening. And I am just so appreciative to Samsung for providing Taylor the opportunity to compete for this project. And Dr. Padville, you're relatively new to Taylor, but I'll tell you, a fighting Taylor duck. We thrive on competition, and we just needed that opportunity because we knew we had something special here in Taylor, and we had a team, an incredible team that could make this happen, and that team included our partners at the county level, the state, and the federal level, and then all of our local partners here, from the school district to our Economic Development Corporation, our Chamber of Commerce. We have a fabulous community, fabulous spirit, and we knew we had a great story to tell to Samsung. On the same theme of opportunity, should Samsung select Taylor as the location for this project, it opens up a world of opportunity for this community, for our existing businesses, for new businesses in Taylor, for our residents, for our kids. I'm mayor of Taylor, but I'm of Taylor. My ancestors immigrated to this area in the 1880s. My kids represent the 6th generation of my family to call this area home. And I've been fortunate that I've been able to remain in this area and raise my children here, a place that I dearly, dearly love. And to be in a position to provide an opportunity for other families, for their kids and their grandkids, for future generations, to be able to remain here in Taylor and to contribute to our community. Frankly, it's overwhelming for me to consider, and it is, as I said, it's an honor and privilege to serve as the mayor of this city, but particularly at this point in time, with the decisions that have been made regarding this project and the impact that it will have on this community, for this county, for this region, for decades and generations to come. It's the highest honor and privilege of my life.
I want to thank Mayor Rydell, Commissioner Bowles, and Judge Gravel for all of their leadership and their tireless hours in helping this community get to this point. As the superintendent, and Mayor Rydell mentioned I think I'm going on month 9 in this school district, and that's been an amazing experience, but it's been the most amazing because of the people of this community. This is a community steeped in a sense of tradition and pride. There is a unique character to Taylor, Texas, and you see that in our children, and you see that our community really cares about the future of our children. So getting to know the 3,000 plus students that go to school here, you can see that they and their parents have incredibly high aspirations for what's possible, but for some of our families, it seems so that it may be out of grasp, or maybe we don't have the resources to get there as a family. And what we are doing essentially through the promise and the potential of Samsung joining the Taylor community is really bringing those opportunities within grasp. When I think about what we can accomplish for our students, it goes beyond what may be on a fact sheet. We talk about the millions of dollars that could be contributed to our school district. We talk about the millions of dollars that could be part of a taxable base that can help us improve our facilities and create new facilities for our kids without raising our tax rate on the residents of Taylor even a single penny. Maybe in fact giving us the opportunity to lower it. But the real opportunity here is it opens up in the minds of our children the ideas that their future can have. It opens up the potential for career opportunities that they don't have to travel very far for. They can enjoy those opportunities right here in Taylor, Texas. And it also opens up direct opportunities in the form of those 24 paid internships that kids can enjoy, and the mentorship and the partnerships that Samsung will embed in our community and in our schools as well. So for our kids and for our future, it is incredibly exciting. There's this leadership parable, and it says, "May I plant the seeds for a tree whose shade I may never enjoy." And it's this idea that we are beginning work that future generations will enjoy, but really the acceleration of that tree and the shade it'll provide will just grow exponentially through this opportunity. And we're so grateful to Samsung for partnering with us and to even bring us to this point of being a strong candidate for their home.
You need a microphone, Constance? Yeah, just ask them to introduce what affiliate they're with.
Okay, we're going to open it up for questions, so if you could let us know your name and the media outlet that you are with when you ask your question, that would be terrific. So who would like to start? Stephen, I saw your hand first, so you can go first.
Hey, I'm Stephen Sarabia with Fox 7. I just got a quick question about if y'all could just briefly explain the sort of tax incentives for Samsung to build here.
So from the Williamson County view, there are three different there's 5 different taxing entities or individuals that are organizations that are contributing toward this venture. First, federally, through the Federal CHIPS Act, through Senator Cornyn's leadership in Washington. That is one path. The second path is through the governor's office with the Texas Enterprise Fund. And you've heard me make the comment that it's the largest economic development project in the history of Texas. And the reason I know that is the Enterprise Fund, this will be the largest amount that they would ever award. And then for the county, we offered a 90% rebate for the first 10 years and then 85% for the second 10 years. But it's performance-based. And Commissioner Bowles can speak to the performance-based. One thing I'd like to share with you, Jordan, is the land that is under contract by Samsung. To my knowledge, it's 1,288 acres. That current tax base of that land for the county generates, it's all in ag exemption, so you would understand that. It generates about $1 per acre per year for Williamson County. So we currently receive from that property, $1,288 a year. With Samsung coming in, even with the rebate granted them, if they choose Williamson County, the county will immediately begin to generate $2,555 per acre. Now, the land mass that I gave you was the land under contract 10 days ago, and I understand there may be more parcels of land, but I can't speak to that, only Samsung could. But Commissioner Bowles can speak to the rebate portion.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. They're supposed, it's a performance base. They're to come here. They're to start construction by January 1. They're to be operational by at the end of the 3rd year, and to be completed within 5 years. And so that's going to give us the opportunity to see the investment in the area. Once open, we've talked about the jobs. It's 1,800 jobs. The size of the facility, and it's a matter that they need to come here, do what they've said they're going to do, and then we will do what we're supposed to do.
And from the city perspective, largely the same as the county. Our abatement structure is a 30-year period. The first 10 years being the 92.5% abatement, the second 10 years at 90%, and the third at 85%.
Jordan Bonke from CBS Austin, or CBS Williamson County. I wanted to ask, what happens from here? It seems like the county and the city have given the green light for Samsung to come, but it seems like Samsung still has yet to decide on the site plan. So what do we do from here? What are we waiting on?
Well, what Williamson County and the city of Taylor and the state of Texas and the United States are waiting for is an announcement from Samsung in the coming days. I believe the decision is imminent for the location of the satellite, and I believe it will be in America. I believe it's going to be in Texas, and I believe it's going to be in CBS Williamson County.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Mike Maruk from KVUE News. How do you address, despite all the support that we had and saw in there, how do you address the infrastructure concerns that some of the people brought up, including the groundwater, as well as just the sheer power that it's going to take to run that facility?
So I'll answer part of that, and then I'll allow the commissioner to speak to the roads runoff and the drainage portion. First of all, the piece that's not been talked about that's a part of this project is we have really merged a partnership between three countries, Korea, Canada, and the United States. And with Canada, there's a Texas-based group called EBCOR. And EBCOR is working with Samsung to bring a completely new source of water to Williamson County. And I actually think that's the best part of this entire story, in that it won't take away the water needs from the residents of Williamson County, but an additional water source will be brought in. What's amazing is between EBCOR and Samsung, and they're in discussions on what it ultimately looks like, but the ability to recycle that water and to make that available again to our residents, that's the type of corporate partner we want, someone that's conscious for the environment, that respects the people. So from the water perspective, we're talking about a whole new water source. From the electric perspective, quite simply, the company that answers that question is Encore. And Encore would be the utility provider for Samsung. And there have been meetings with Samsung, the president, CEO of Encore, myself, and other leaders. And so ultimately the answer is the electric and water are demands that we can easily meet, and that Samsung, I believe, is pleased with. I do think we need to talk about the roads, the infrastructure, and the water and the runoff, because that was a concern that was expressed.
So when we go to the roads in Williamson County, first of all, we have great partners, right? So first of all, the judge mentioned $67 million that Williamson County will be getting to complete the bridge over Highway 79 for the Southeast Loop. That's a big portion of building the infrastructure that Samsung's going to need. Additionally, we're going to build a new county road. And we've got great partners there, again, particularly in Samsung. Not only are they making a cash payment as part of our performance agreement, but they'll be dedicating most of the right-of-way for that as well. Those are fantastic savings in our road world. I heard the speaker out there talk about worry about the flow, worry about the stormwater that could come off the site. So in East Williamson County, it's a pretty flat place. We've got farmland is flat. You mentioned Mustang Creek. Mustang Creek, I know the city's in the process of moving forward to get grant funds to address that. That is something that the county is co-authoring them with to help get, but it's something that we can handle. As far as the site, they're going to be held to development standards of any other developer in Williamson County. They have to detain their own stormwater, and they have to release it properly. And so it's something that we hear pretty often on the east side of Williamson County. We know it's an issue, and Samsung knows it's an issue, and they're committed to doing it right.
Do you have a follow-up?
Williamson County and Taylor are not the only ones in the running for this facility. So what does Taylor bring to the table that Austin, New York, Phoenix, and others don't?
Start, then Brent can answer. Listen, I want to be crystal clear. What Williamson County and Taylor bring to the table that no other sites brought around the world is we have worked as a team from the very beginning. It's been a collaborative partnership with the city, with the county, with the state, and with federal officials. We have said from the very first meeting that we had with Samsung that in Williamson County, we don't say no, we figure out how to work toward yes. And we've worked through multiple complicated issues. Listen, I think what sets Williamson County apart from the rest of the world is we have a can-do attitude. And by the way, this mayor, this commissioner, and this superintendent, we did all of this together in the middle of a global pandemic. Now, what sets Taylor apart, I'm not going to be offended by that question. Their mayor might be offended by that question, but I think he can better speak to that, Mayor.
Well, what I can't speak to is what the other possible locations may or may not offer. But I think very simply, as a practical matter, Taylor offers abundant land, available power for the needs of the project, and water that could be provided. Now beyond that, I think what they found, and I can forgive them if they, coming into this, thought Taylor, really a town of 16,000 people, largely, considered a rural portion of eastern Williamson County, that would not automatically rise to the top of their list of locations they might consider. But I think when they met with our city team and they found a professionalism, a dedication, a willingness to work through a lot of really complicated issues. I mean, it's taken a while for us to get to this point, and it's been a problem-solving exercise after problem-solving exercise, and crisis resolution. But what they found, while we're a small city with a small team, we're very nimble and very responsive, highly professional, and I think that was eye-opening, at least from my perspective. I'm not sure that's what Samsung necessarily was expecting from a place like Taylor, and I think they were very pleasantly surprised at the partnership that they were able to forge with the Taylor team, with the county team, and all levels of government here in Texas and at the federal level. So when you get beyond the land, the power, and the water, I think you just have, as the judge said, a can-do spirit and a willingness to respond and work through a lot of really complicated issues to make it happen.
Great. Sakura with KVUE News. So going back to the incentives that y'all are offering, could you put it into perspective for us? Is there a dollar amount that you could put with these combined tax incentives from Wilco and Taylor?
No.
No dollar amount.
No, you ask, is there a dollar amount we could put to it? And the answer is no, because the property is not in existence. The facilities are not built. We don't know the appraised value of those facilities. So to answer that question, can I put it into perspective, all of the abatements? The answer is no.
Got it. And then my second question is, you mentioned that, you hope that or expect that a decision from Samsung is imminent. Is there a timeline, days, weeks, months?
Soon.
Okay. Jason?
Jason Henderson, Taylor Press. And this is more for you, Dr. Fatfield. I keep hearing about the opportunities that Taylor ISD is going to get from this. Aside from those paid internships that's going to happen every year over the next 30 years, what other opportunities is the school district expecting out of this?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jason. And those 24 paid internships every year, those are huge to begin with. But on top of that, there's the tangible things that we can talk about for our school district, and then there's the intangibles. I'll start with the intangibles. Samsung has really communicated and demonstrated a commitment to being part of the community, and so that is in human relations forms. That's mentorships, that's partnerships, that's being able to provide resources to our community and to our schools. But the other part of that is when we think purely financial, there are financial payments into our maintenance and operations, which help pays for employees, pays for salaries, pays for renovations and upgrades to our facilities. And then also, an investment of this kind is adding to our taxable base as a school district. So what that means for us is that we can upgrade, renovate our facilities upon taxpayer votes and not impact the average resident's taxes that they pay every year to the school district.
Okay, and I just had a follow-up on that. How soon do you think the school district will start seeing those benefits?
Oh, good question. So if, I think it's been widely publicized that groundbreaking for this plant is expected in 2022. And so really a lot of those, that first wave of benefits, you'd see some initial benefits in the beginning. When we talk about like paid internships and mentoring and partnerships, and even some financial incentives to the school district, you may see, we're likely to see some of that in the first 2 years, but when the plant is officially running in 2024, that's when you would see things really open up to the full financial benefits that are available to our students in our schools.
Forgive me if this was already in the packet, but were there any kind of environmental considerations put in there, such as Samsung has to use a certain amount of electric vehicles or things like that that might lower the carbon footprint of a facility of this size?
There wasn't anything like that in there. There's obviously an environmental assessment they have to do during construction. Collecting their water and their wastewater will be done by a special facility. And so as far as them being kind to the environment, that's built in our normal development standards, and it's been taken care of as far as the effluent with the wastewater treatment plant that they intend to build, as we're told, on site.
Any other questions? All right.
There's a question I have, Mayor Rydell. I'm putting you on the spot. But in your agreement, the city of Taylor is getting so much money annually from Samsung for specialty-related projects. I think it's $300,000 a year. I'm excited about that. What is that? What is that going to mean for the kiddos in the community? And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but it's awesome.
No, that's quite right, Judge. No, as part of the agreement with the city of Taylor, Samsung is pledging to, in terms of charitable or civic donations, they're pledging on an average of $300,000 a year towards those endeavors in the city, and that's over the course of the 30-year term of our agreement.
And we had a representative from Samsung speak to us tonight. We truly appreciated that. And I listened intently when he was talking to us. And I heard him with a smile say, at the end, this is just the beginning. And that holds a lot of possibilities, and that's something that I'm excited about. We have, over the last 9 months, gotten to know Samsung, got to know their sincerity, have gotten to see. There's very little guesswork here, and if they say they're going to do it, their track record is easy. They do it, and so we're pretty excited about the possibility of them being here in Williamson County.
Anything else, Judge? All right, very good. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.